Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I'll be covering Street Fighter 6 issue 4 and last but not least Rogue Sun issue 13. So I'll now get things organized for the comic that I'll be covering first. So for the first comic that I'll be covering, it'll be Street Fighter 6 issue 4. So moving to first things first is, does the cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside of the story? Not so much, but overall I do give the cover a 7 out of 10, only because of some of the characters that are on it. Of course we get to see Ryu there and a couple of others. So now let's move into the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening story-wise. So as the story begins, Mal Masters has been taken captive by Johann Petrovich, and now he's working his escape out of where he actually is. We have Luke Sullivan that is also looking not only for him, but also for Ken Masters. As we jump towards the middle of the story, we end up getting a bit of a fight with Ken Masters along with Luke Sullivan, and of course we end up catching up with Kalima, who has finally worked out that Johann Petrovich isn't actually the good guy. And as we start to move towards the end of the story, we get a bit of a catch-up with Chun-Li and Li Fen and some of the things that are happening there. But I will jump a little bit further towards the very end of the story, to which we get to see Ken Masters, who has sort of like escaped where he is, like from the arena, and also Mal Masters, who is now searching for him. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area in relation to the story and its racing. So first things first, do we get anything time-wise? Sure enough we do, to which we have 7 PM being brought up within the conversation. Next is the area of location, to which is all of this is taking place in Nashao, and we do get the arena back up again. The key cast of characters consisting of Ken Masters, Mal Masters, Luke Sullivan, Kalima, Johann Petrovich. We also get Lima Bien, who sort of like runs the country, and also we have Boris Gagarin, we have Li Fen, and last but not least, Chun-Li. For the overall story rating in this, I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to move and catch up with Rogue Sun. So, as we jump into issue 13 of Rogue Sun, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the internal art, which we'll have a look at what's happening story-wise around the beginning, middle, and of course the end. So, as this story begins, it takes place after what happened with the last issue, and the character has realized the things that have happened and occurred, and including the loss of someone he used to bully but is now somewhat resentful. And not only that, also something takes place at one of the hospitals. As we jump towards the middle of the story, we end up catching up with the character of Demonica, who's one of the villains, and in this particular story, we've got something different here, and it feels like the character of Dylan has been split into two. So, yeah, I'd like to have a little bit more explanation as to how that's occurred. And, of course, we have the Rogue Sun, of course, being run by Dylan. So, very interesting within the story. Didn't quite expect it, but very interesting. And last but not least, Caleb has sort of brought him into sort of like a a type of realm of sorts, to which in the story he is now actually catching up with his old man. Something that I didn't quite expect, but I hope he gives him some good advice to get out of this situation. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. Seeing that we're up to 13 issues, did we get any comic references? No, we didn't. Any indication of time? Not at all. Everything that is taking place here is taking place in Crescent City. We do get the medical center and also the high school, plus also the Bell Estate. The key cast of characters consisting of Dylan, Rogue Son. We had Brock, Ori, I think, was there, his sister, plus his mother. We also had a bit of a list of his rogues galaxy, and we got to see pictures of them too, such as Billy Bloodmoon, Lord Viathan, Charon, Lady Calamity, Reverend Death, Alienator, Killer Witch, Hellbent, Cataclysm. We also catch up with Dottie, Morningstar, who also runs the jewelry shop, and it felt like that she was putting those villains that were mentioned before in rehab, so that they can stop what they're doing. And of course, we catch up with Demonica, and we also catch up with the character of Caleb. For the overall story writing in this, I give it an 8 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.